Hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there.
Pointers that up into that. That's part of, you could say, probably
right.
part of history. Whatever.
Lead us into the history, yeah.
I kept my lead.
As we go back in history.
A short look back in the pod.
So this, obviously, not only this track, but the country of Spain has always been very, I would say, they're very huge fans of racing, period.
Yeah.
Like, for example, not only F1 or any kind of car racing and, motorcycles. They, they're...
I would say they're more motorcycle racing.
Yeah.
Well, because there's more Spanish drivers.
And then,
He has shown that in attendance.
with Alonso.
Yeah, when Alonso was at his
became
peak.
huge.
Yeah.
F1 became huge, yeah.
So, for example, history of racing in Spain or Spanish, as far as like Spanish Grand Prix or whatever you want to call it, it goes back all the way to 1913.
Wow.
Ooh.
So it's like at one point I think they even had an event celebrating the centennial race or whatever and stuff like that. The first Formula event they had was in 1951, and that race was won by Fangio.
Juan Manuel Fangio.
But in this track that we're in, we started in 1991.
The current iteration.
In 2013, it was supposed to be alternated between the Valencia Street Circuit and this one, but financial reasons it didn't pan out. Only two drivers have won a Spaniard Grand Prix or Spanish Grand Prix, if you want to call it. That has been Alonso, who did in 06 and 2013.
Two Spaniards, you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, Spaniard.
Okay.
And a gentleman named Carlos de Salamanca, who did it in 1913. So imagine how
Salamanca.
Nobody remembers that guy, probably. Only 4 races here have been won from Paul between 01 and 2019. So out of all of those races, only 4 has been won.
Damn.
That's
really?
crazy.
Yeah.
Considering how... Oh, wow. I thought it would be way more than that.
Also, there's not many non-champions that have won in Barcelona.
Wow.
So the only non-champions that have done it have been Felipe Massa, Mark Webber, and Pastor Maldonado. That was his only win, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite
So
memorable.
that was one of my preliminary questions in trivia that was on the half. But I was like, "Is this gonna be too easy because it's Maldonado?" How do I do this?
Crash door.
Yeah. So most win by drivers is Schumacher with 6, followed by Hamilton with 5, and a bunch of other drivers have 3, Nigel Mansell, Jack Stewart, and Mika Häkkinen.
Okay.
Most win by constructors is Ferrari with 12.
Wow.
Followed by a 3-way tie for McLaren, Williams, and Mercedes.
How many?
7.
I'm sorry, I didn't put that number.
Okay.
But I think it is 7.
Yeah.
Wins by engine manufacturer tied in first place by 4 Cosworth. It was Cosworth, but funded by 4. And Mercedes with 13. Followed by Ferrari with 12.
Nice.
Sorry, that number is 8.
8.
For constructors, yeah.
And there's a highlighting history as well as in 1994, Michael Schumacher was able to finish second despite being stuck in 5th gear for most of the race.
So this is a good race for anybody named Schumacher, is what you're saying.
I hope so. Maybe his son, for Benetton, it was a car that he eventually won with that car
Kind
too.
of like what
I know the Haas is never going to be at the caliber of a Benetton.
Kind of like what
Benetton.
Senna did in Brazil. That when he won his first Grand Prix in Brazil, he was stuck in 5th gear or something, 4th or 5th gear, and he couldn't even lift his because his shoulders were all messed up. Because remember that at that point it wasn't this; it was
actually shifting.
It was actually shifting. So he was, so he couldn't even lift his shoulders up.
It's like driving on a cross bars.
Yeah, so
by Schumacher doing that, he had he used supposedly his world sports cars experience because he had to his driving style has to be modified so much that he had to change so many trajectories in the corner apex and stuff like that to be able to not be hindered so much because he couldn't shift.
Interesting.
So I'm going to bring up the track map. Boom. It's right on screen. It's a little hard to see, but this is the best that I could find. It's the track that was used for testing, not this year, obviously, but traditionally it is, because it's got so many different aspects that are conducive to testing. It's got the big parabolica style turn 3. It's got that everyone's favorite final chicane.
Yeah, it's
got
special.
yeah. It's just got so many different elements that help test the car out. That traditionally that's where they go.
A lot of low speed, medium speed, and
Yeah.
high speed corners.
It is the most boring processional track normally outside of Monaco. Obviously, that is a special
At
part.
least Monaco makes up for the glitz and glam and
The spectacle.
the spectacle.
So, predictions wise, here we go. So, what are we talking about as far as qualifying? Ruben, I'm going to tee you up first.
Qualifying. I believe we're probably going to get more of what we got this weekend, but I would say Max takes it this weekend. Paul.
Why do you say that?
Because of the loopy turns and stuff like that they have here, he might be, because the Red Bull car has shown this year already that they are quick on all these little turns and stuff like that. That they have the aero package, followed by obviously Hamilton.
Okay.
Bottas, followed by Paris.
Okay.
Fifth, I don't know. Fifth, it's a toss up.
What do you think, Jason?
Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Paris. This is a Mercedes track, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
I am in agreement. So I want to point out last year, 2020, qualifying went as Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Max Verstappen, and in a racing point, Sergio Perez, fourth. And then in another racing point, Lance Stroll, fifth. He did.
Oh, wow.
He got twins.
Yeah. So
I didn't know we had two Paris.
Yep.
It's good.
well, you know what it is, because that was a tracing point. They traced Perez as well.
Oh,
There you go.
that
They
makes
were
sense.
clearly
But
awesome at
it
racing.
just goes to show how strong the Mercedes car itself was at Barcelona. That the tracing points were able to get fourth and fifth in qualifying last year.
So it was 4 Mercedes in the top 5.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hamilton, Bottas, and Verstappen. Where do we think that we see the Aston Martin cars in qualifying this week?
They're going to be where they're at right now.
Exactly.
They're not going to improve, even though it's a better track for them.
Because their problem is with aero. Their problem is with the rake and the diffuser. They don't have, you have a lot of loopy, flowy corners that you need a lot of downforce. Mercedes got on top of that problem. Obviously, the Red Bull car is good, but I don't think it's as good as a Mercedes on this track. They still have a ton of problems, and it showed this weekend. And the layout for Portimao is not that much different than Barcelona. The only difference is that you have a lot of, up and downs, undulating corners, and blind corners. Barcelona, for the most part, is not flat, but it's not as. There's not a lot of ups and downs as Portimao, but the track layout is very similar. So they're gonna be. It's gonna be the same thing.
So can you just picture Stroll's dad begging
I like Ruben painting the picture.
for this information? How can it be leaked to us? We need it. How can we fix this problem? Toto, come on, help me out here.
No way.
Help me
way.
out, Toto.
No way.
Yeah, this is the reason why.
And Toto is like, you didn't listen to me.
Listen, the last time a team did what Aston Martin did did during the offseason, which was hype up their team, was McLaren during the McLaren Honda days, where they were like, "Oh, we're better than this. We're better than this. We're
Then
going to be better this year."
when you mentioned
Yeah,
those darker
well,
days.
And then when McLaren changed their tune and said, "No, we're not that good. We're rebuilding," and then when you downplay that, and just the same thing with Ferrari's doing now, anything good that you do, even if it's a 5th place, is a victory for them. Be humble. Be humble.
All right, Kendrick.
Okay.
Yep.
Exactly. They shot themselves in the foot, thinking that they had a great car. The aero rules changed. They didn't have the resources, or they don't have the resources because they're not as big as the team as Mercedes, or experienced as a team as Mercedes, to get on top of that and make the car better. Be humble. Because then what happens is that when you get into that position, anything is a victory. Even a 10th place is a victory. But right now, they can't even crack the top 10.
Well, bueno, as they say. Race predictions?
I hope they bring some wine for the race then.
Yeah.
They're gonna need it.
We got to bring the cheese. They'll bring the wine.
Yep.
Race predictions. I'll go first, I guess. What we've been talking about. It's a Mercedes track. I don't see them getting worse. I see the Hamilton, Bottas, Max Verstappen. Then you'll get a Perez, and you'll get a scrappy Lando fighting for fourth, but he won't make it at the end. I feel like this is just going to be the whole rest of the year. Those four, and then Lando at the end. Right?
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Throw Leclerc in there. I think Leclerc is going to make him move up.
Wow. Okay.
A hater.
Ruben, what do you got?
No, I would go Hamilton taking the race. And just because I don't have faith in Bottas as much as Wellington, I would say Max, Bottas, and then Perez. And like the same thing you said.
I want to defend myself. I don't have faith in Bottas. But I expected him to bounce back last week.
He just took the easy way out.
I'm selling high now.
He just said,
selling high.
How much worse can this guy do? Not worse than what he was at.
Nothing what Wellington meant to say last week was like, what can this guy do just by showing up? Okay, this is what he did. Perfect. That's it.
Bottas is Bottas, man. You know.
Now, what is the score he's gonna get? A person can get just by showing up to the test and putting their name.
Every time we got excited, Bottas 2.0, Bottas 3.0.
I'm thinking about our drop. I'm thinking Niki Lauda once said, "A monkey could drive." Like it's because that car is so.
Like every time he gets an upgrade, a virus hits him, and he's just like Bottas 1.0 again.
Zero. Bottas minus point.
Bottas is Windows 98.
So what did you say? What did you say is your prediction for this race?
So it'll be Hamilton, Max,
and
Bottas, Perez, and the same thing you said. It will be Lando scrapping throughout the whole race, but Lando will be scrapping between fourth and fifth. He will not be fourth and third.
Okay.
And fifth will be
fifth Lando, and then.
Do you know you threw a wrench in my prediction?
What?
Why is that?
Because you said that
Bottas 2.0?
No. Windows 98 Bottas.
Oh my god.
Because you said that the pole winner has only won what, twice, 3 times?
4 times.
4 times. I said pole was gonna be Hamilton.
So you think Max is going to take it?
But there's not really overtaking in this track that much. It's usually a procession.
Red Bull has to show first. They have to show up and get the package.
Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas.
4th, 5th?
4th, I am going to put Perez, Leclerc 5th.
So we all the top 4.
Stop being a hater. Be humble.
Yeah.
Be humble.
That's for your fifth.
Stop being a hater.
You want somebody more humble than McLaren? There's nobody's more humble
Speaking
than McLaren.
of that, do we think Ricardo does anything this year? Or this season? I'm sorry, this race. Does he get to 6th? Does he push for 5th?
I think he'll be closer to Lando.
He'll eventually get closer.
He'll get there.
But remember, as to get closer to Lando, then you're gonna now face Leclerc, and now if the Alpine is there, then you're gonna face those 2 guys that also back and forth. And let's not forget Gasly
And Sainz.
and
It's tough.
His
man.
home race.
this guy. Now this is a perfect time for it. Not earlier when he was messing up.
Fastest lap?
Fastest lap. Whoa. Hamilton.
Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no trick at the end. No.
No.
Yeah.
Yo, so I did not.
I'm sorry. That's if Yancey gets to the end.
If he doesn't fall asleep.
Exactly.
He needs some.
No, you know what? I'm going to go with Perez fastest lap.
Really?
Whoa.
How?
Because I think he will probably be. What we're seeing is that if you got the top 2 teams, 4 cars are running up there, they can run up a 25, 30 second lead from the next team down, that if they're running close, Perez probably has the best shot at
Getting
pitting
fast
at the end and getting a
good
fast
point.
lap.
That's a very good point.
So I'm gonna go with Sergio Perez with fast.
So similar to what the team tried to do this weekend.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a very good
exactly.
point.
But in this weekend, since there were so many like strategy mess ups, to put it nicely, I would use it another way.
Hiccups.
Yeah, hiccups, whatever. There was enough gaps between those top four, but I don't think that's gonna happen again. So I that's why I think, and I don't think that Perez is still. He's getting better in that car, but I don't think he's still up to where he should be. So he'll probably be running last of that top four group. So he'll have the chance to put on those soft tires and go for it.
Okay. Or Charles.
Yeah. So that wraps up our race